Hello, everyone. Happy New Year to you all. I just want to thank everyone for an amazing 2023. Thank you for being part of our lives, our ministry, and everything we did for the Lord in the year 2023. And today I'm just here to give a recap of the gratitude edition of Refresh, which was the last edition of Refresh in the year 2023. Unlike the previous edition, the last edition of Refresh, which was the gratitude edition, was tagged a night of worship and testimony. And honestly, we are yet to recover from the amazing experience and the encounters that we had. Different kind of encounter, different kind of testimonies and the manifestations of God. If you're out there watching these and you played one role or the other during the gratitude edition of Refresh, I want to say thank you. I want to say God bless you. I want to thank the media crew, the sound engineers, our moderators, the band, the volunteers, everybody in general, the attendees, everyone who was part of the gratitude edition of Refresh. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for all you did and that you will continue to do by the grace of God. That we had an amazing experience during the gratitude edition of Refresh. It was a miracle, considering the challenges that we had during the preparation stage of the program. I mean, at some point, it looked like we were never going to have that program because of so many different kind of challenges that were popping up at every quarter. But you know what? We are not ignorant of the devices of the enemies. I realize that whenever God is set to do something great, the devil usually will try to frustrate that effort. And this past edition of Refresh wasn't an exception. But thank God for victory at last. We did not only have an amazing experience during the gratitude edition of Refresh. Everything that God said He was going to do, we saw it play out. We saw those things, manifest during that program. While we were preparing, I remember God said that He was going to restore people. He was going to restore people's vision. God said He was going to restore His sons and daughters into their purpose. And God said for some, it will be the beginning of beginnings. And several things like that God was saying to, and we saw these things played out during the program. There are multiple screenshots of testimonies of people's experience and encounter while the program was ongoing. Maybe let me just share one or two. For example, there were people on that day while the program was ongoing who had open vision. They saw for the first time, their eyes were open. They saw things. One notable encounter was of a gentleman who saw Jesus and he saw blood dripping, I think from the hand, like he saw the pierced hand and blood was dripping, and all of this was taking place while we were there in an atmosphere of intense worship. It was amazing. It was amazing. A confirmation of what God said He was going to do. And we saw it played out. Also, there was a moment in the program where we interceded for people, for God to restore them as He has promised, for God to restore them into what He has called them to do. And people were called out to be prayed for. And while that was going on, there was a lady who saw another vision of some men. These men were holding a staff. And each man that was holding a staff was standing behind everyone who came out to be prayed for. And while the prayer was ongoing, these men came with their staff and they dropped their staff behind everyone that was standing or kneeling down, at the altar who were being prayed for. And this lady said she heard all of these men that brought the staff she heard them chorusing or chanting, mantle, mantle, mantle. It was just an amazing experience that personally I am yet to recover from. I just want to thank God for all of these amazing encounters and even some testimonies that I'm not even permitted. I don't have the permission to make public at this time. We just want to say thank God for saying it and bringing it to pass. So that was the summary of the experience that we had during the gratitude edition of Refresh. And so here we are, 2024. Yes, 2024 is here already, and thank God for how the year has started. But I have an appeal. My first appeal is that you would join us, join this movement. Refresh is the coming together of the people of God, is the gathering of the saints of God across this metroplex and everywhere you may be, as long as you are able to connect with us. You are part of us. So I'm inviting you officially and formally for the year 2024. Please be part of this movement and let's just see what God is going to do. I want to invite you to join our volunteering team. If you know anything about media, you know anything about music, you know anything about sound, even in the prayer and intercession team, anything you are able to do for the Lord, please, the Lord is in need of you, right? So please be part of us. My second appeal would be that you please financially support us. Be our partner. Be a partner to this movement. As many of you may have already known, each time we have Refresh, it doesn't come cheap. And we don't put people under pressure to give. As a matter of fact, we don't raise offering, right? But God has been amazing. God has been so gracious to us in the financial quarters, and we've been able to do our best in that area. But we can do more. We can do more. We can do more. So this is an official appeal to as many of you who have been blessed by God to please join us, be partner with us financially to be able to reach more people, to be able to do more for the Lord even this year. And God is counting on you and I, to do our part so that His name will be glorified, so that His kingdom will continue to expand even on the surface of the earth. Most of the things we have done, we have done by the help of God and by some amazing people who have just shown interest recently that, hey, how are you doing it? We noticed that you don't even call for offering, so how are you financing this? I'm like, well, we have to do what we have to do for the Lord, and so we need you to be able to advance this cause. We need you. And I think this is also the part where I say a big thank you and a big God bless you to as many people who reached out to us financially, who donated, their hard-earned money towards the success of the gratitude edition of Refresh. I want to say God bless you. May the Lord continue to enlarge your coast. May the Lord continue to enrich you. And may the Lord even cause you to do more this year in the name of Jesus. So that's my second appeal. Please partner with us. Partner with us. Let's see what God can do with us and through us together. My third appeal is that you please follow us on all our social media platforms. It's important. Follow us on all our social media platforms. That way you stay abreast of any information, any news, anything whatsoever that is going on, whatever we're doing, any update, you are the first to know. So follow us on all our social media platforms. And lastly, I will also like to say that this year, 2024, please do not miss any edition of Refresh. Yes, the calendar for 2024 is already out. Please take note of those dates. Save the date. Do not miss any edition of Refresh for 2024. It's important. The Lord is said to do amazing things this year. So extend this invitation to as many people around you. If you have been an attendee of Refresh before this year, you are already an ambassador of Refresh. So what that means is that you are now a mouthpiece for Refresh. We need you to reach out to your friends, reach out to your family members, reach out to your neighbors, reach out to your co-workers, everyone around you to be part of this movement. By so doing, you are also blessing lives, because God is said to do amazing things with us and through us this year. I know what God has told me about the year 2024, and not just only for me personally, but for as many that are connected to us, especially if you are part of this movement. God is said to do amazing things this year, so you cannot afford to miss out on them. So these are my requests, and I pray and I hope that they will be granted by you. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the very first edition of Refresh in 2024, which is coming up in March 30th. So please be prepared, be ready. I'll see you there. God bless you.